Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong, and today we have our first virtual remote guest. And y'all know I'm not a big virtual girl. We actually had some technical difficulties, which caused us to reschedule and record the podcast on a different day, but that's okay. It's all trial and error. So, in this conversation with Lauren, we're going to be talking all things dance, confidence, how to build a community, how to juggle entrepreneurship and motherhood. And we're going to get down and dirty into the details. So, I hope you guys enjoy and let's dive in. Okay, y'all. Before we get too real and too deep into this conversation, I just wanted to let y'all know that we literally just opened registration for our next Real Hot retreat, our final retreat of 2024. And we're going to Greece, y'all. Let me say that again. We're going to Greece, okay? We're ready to do it big and we're ready to bring all the real vibes to Europe. We cannot wait for this one. Let me let y'all know what's on this itinerary or like what's included. Okay, so we're gonna spend 3 nights in Mykonos, 3 nights on Andros Island, which is super beautiful, super low key, super chill. And we're gonna do a waterfalls tour, private boat tour. We're gonna have breakfast, lunch included. We're gonna spend the day at Mykonos at a beach club with our own cabana. We're gonna have dance classes, wine tastings, stretch and meditation sessions. Do not miss out on this, okay? This is big. So whether you've been looking to just treat yourself or get outside of your comfort zone or see more of the world or just get away from them kids, okay? Whatever it is that you need to do, we want to see you in Greece, okay? Spots are super limited. We're actually going to be cutting down the number of people that we're taking on this retreat. We usually have about 14 people. This one's going to be a little bit more intimate. So we really hope that you can make it. Just make sure you reserve your spot ASAP by dropping your deposit and checking out the payment schedule. Don't worry if you ain't got it all now, it's fine, okay? Payment plans are available. And honestly, I almost forgot. If you can't make it to Greece, you don't have a passport, we have our summer solstice retreat coming up this June 21st to the 23rd in Brewster, New York. If you're local, if you're on the East Coast, if you're not on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast, wherever you are, come spend the weekend with us. We have limited spots available for the 2 nights, but even if you can't stay those 2 nights, come chill with us Saturday, the whole day. You'll still get to take advantage of all the amenities, everything. We have a private home that's emerged in nature, and we're going to have chair massages, yoga sessions, sound bath and meditations, freshly prepared meals. There's a pool, jacuzzi. You can go kayaking. We're going to do a manifestation dinner to bring in the new season. It's a lot. So one of two retreats, you guys have choices. You guys have some options here. So definitely treat yourself or maybe ask your boo to treat you. You never know. So if you're ready to treat yourself and ready to catch a vibe with us on one of our retreats this year, then head on over to our website, www.realrhythmdancingfitness.com. Head on over to our retreat tab where you can learn more about our retreats and take a look at some of our previous trips. And yeah, guys, this is going to be really fun. So don't miss this opportunity. You can also follow our retreat Instagram, Real Hot Retreats _. So hope to see y'all there. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Marissa?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show.
I'm glad we can finally connect.
Yes, yes. How is Florida? How's the weather? How's the sun?
It's good, but it's pollen season, so it's allergy central out here.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain because I know it's still cold up there.
Yes, yes. It's like 40s. So we're hoping to get some like 60s, 70s soon.
Uh-huh. And then everyone will be outside.
Yes, yes. So
Mhm.
tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you are, a little bit about your business.
Sure. I am the creator, choreographer, instructor of a dance brand called Bombshell Dance Productions. and I teach classes in the Orlando, Florida area. It's classes designed for women or to bring out your, female energy, and kind of give everyone a glimpse of being a stage performer, but in the comfort of, a cool setting and environment and community. I'm also expanding my online dance tutorials so I can share that with other people who don't live in the city. And so, yeah, I'm busy working on that.
Yes, I love that. And I've watched you over the years. We've kind of like watched each
Mhm.
other, but I've definitely it's so funny because this is our first time like actually having, a conversation like face to
Yeah,
face online still, but but one day we'll
right.
meet in person. Yeah, one day we'll meet in person. But I've just been following you like over the years. And I think first time I saw you was like around the time I started Vixen workout. And that was
Uh-huh.
probably like 2017. And I think you were moving like into Bombshell at that time. You were starting your own thing.
Yeah.
And recently I found out we had like a mutual student, Joanna.
Yay,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes, yes. So what made you start? Like what's the I guess the meaning behind Bombshell, like what made you want to start your own thing? Because we all know, like we'll talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, but we know it's not easy, right? Like to start your own
Right,
thing, to
right.
brand, to kind of just like market and promote your own thing. So how did that start for you?
It's a story. It takes a lot, right? So I feel like all of us who work in the field and create our own things, like there's certain things that we have to overcome inside of ourselves before doing that. And so I had a long pause of no dance. I became a mom at 19, and so I was blessed to have experienced like a lot of really good professional work at a young age. I was always like the youngest in my dance crew, youngest. I did like backup dancing and whatnot. When I became a mom, I was like, okay, I gotta hang my dance shoes up. I didn't even know that I could be both things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I just like dove into motherhood. I was like, I have to kind of shed this part of me. I don't know how to balance it all. But and like dancers that I come across, who were former dancers, like that that passion inside, that outlet, that you can't shed that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's something you can like try to tuck away, but it gnaws at you. And it did. I was at home, a young mom, trying to balance life and a lot of things, and seeing my peers, my best friends, my dance friends, like living out their dreams, our dreams. And I was so genuinely happy for them, but it was like a little bruise inside always. Me not dancing. It was, it's a part of your identity. It's part of your therapy. It's everything. Us dancers understand that feeling. And so when I actually was pregnant with my youngest son, um, I don't know. There was something clicked inside of me where I was like, "Girl, are you really willing to live the rest of your life without dance?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody's gonna do it for you." And I took, a few classes here and there, and I quickly, shied away and was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not at this standard anymore. But I want that energy. I want that outlet. And so that's when I found Vixen.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove to Miami. My son was like 6 months old. That's like an intense training.
Yes.
I did like the whole weekend training, like nursing him in between on breaks. It was wild, but it was really like one of the first steps back to myself and back to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And doing Vixen, like I loved everything that it stood for, but I was missing like the dance, like the real like choreography. Like that's where my heart lives.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, with time, movement, it energizes new movement. It energizes more, like you get more confidence as you go. And I became more confident and empowered. And I was like, no, now's the time where I can share what I do,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm about, what I want to present to other women, and that's how Bombshell came about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that story. And I love that you were inspired to spark your own creativity. Because I think with us dancers, not every dancer is a choreographer, and you know that as well, you know.
Right.
But I think like
Yeah.
when you do have that choreographer kind of like mentality or that spark, right? Like it's
Uh-huh.
hard to dim it because like you constantly start hearing music and you're like, oh, like I feel like this would
You
be a
see
cute
it.
combo. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So you start like wanting to create your own thing and you start feeling it and visualizing it. So it's nice to actually go ahead and do that and start that for yourself. And I think also I
Sure.
love seeing like your daughter dancing with you now. It's so
Yeah.
cute. It's adorable.
Yeah, she's my little baby Bombshell, but I love that. It's so special that I can share that with her now. And see what it does for her, you know? Dance is, I mean, to me, like the best outlet and therapy and like energy giver. And it's just it's wonderful. And when you can, have your share it with a community of like other fantastic women, it's like, that's where I was like, oh, okay, dance is my passion, but working with women, helping women feel good, like that's where my purpose is. And I didn't know, right? Like I didn't know all of these things. I had like little thoughts of it, but you don't know what it is until you experience that. And so, yeah, like I'm proud that I had the courage to do something that I felt so honestly, I felt so uncomfortable doing at the beginning. And I was like, you're gonna do it.
Yes.
'Cause
Yes.
what's the alternative? Not unacceptable, you
Right.
know?
Right. Not doing it and having those regrets and
Right.
just kind of like watching other people live out your dreams and having that like, kind of just like bitterness. And I think so many people do it. And we've seen so many dancers that have like, stopped dancing or they've just like given up, on themselves or their dreams. And like
Mhm.
I feel for them. And like I like what you brought up, how like, you stopped dancing for a little bit, and that was something that I had stopped dancing like after high school. And then I came back to dance like after I found Zumba, and I that was one of my first like
Mhm.
stepping stones, like
It's
getting
your
Zumba
way back
certified.
in. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And you just come, it's like a reawakening, like coming back to yourself.
Uh-huh.
And then I think dance too like tends to just shape you, as a woman. So like what are some things, some like lessons, or what are some things that dance has taught you about yourself, or how have you learned or built confidence over the years?
Um, Being a performer was always like a huge passion of mine. I have an essay from like elementary school about my favorite place in the world, and it's the stage. So it's like all about the stage. Because I always felt my most confident, my most empowered version of me, unapologetic. Look at me, don't look at me. I don't care. I'm in my element, on stage or in class dancing or just vibing to the music. And I feel like those experiences, those feelings, you know, it ends up leading into all other areas of your life.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I'm sure you see it. I can witness the growth in each woman who, sends the first nervous message like, I'm
Yes.
scared, I want to try, but I don't want to feel stupid or look
Mhm.
this way or be judged. And then over time, when they're, showing up for themselves,
Yes.
you see the difference. It's like, it's not just in dance. Like, yes, they become, more capable, confident dancers, but like they carry that confidence to other areas in their life. And that's where the real magic is. That's my favorite part of all of this.
Yes, agreed, agreed. Someone literally asked me last night, we were in a rehearsal, And she was asking me like, what can I do better? Like, tips or whatever. And I'm like,
Mhm.
honestly, just take up more space. Like, take up more
Yeah.
space. And she was like, my therapist would tell me the same thing. I'm like, but that applies in life. Like, literally.
100.
Yeah. And like when you start taking up more space in dance, it's gonna apply to other things in your life. You're gonna
For
feel more
sure.
confident, Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Let's talk about social media a little bit because I feel like this is with entrepreneurs and like, with dancers, like putting our art out there and our creativity.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, it's a great platform, right? And I feel like we can both agree that social media has helped us to gain exposure and clients and all of that. But what are some challenges that you face with social media as far as like, showing up consistently or showing your face or maybe just like maintaining like a level of privacy? Because I think for the most
Mhm.
part, like I see you really just with dance, like you don't show too much of like your personal life, which is great. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm kind of the same way, but how do you maintain that level of like balance with social media and then like real life?
It is a careful balancing act.
Yeah.
And I think I've always been like, hey, y- as a dancer, as a performer, you have a certain like, look at me, I'm performing, you know, thing about you. But me personally, like before I had a business, like everything was private. I would barely post. If I did, it was like only to for friends and close family. You know what I mean? Like everything was private. And then I realized, oh, okay, but there's a benefit in sharing part of you because it will help reach other women who, can then get a glimpse of you so that they can relate, know that you're not just a dancer, but you're a human with your own, insecurities and story and all of the things. I'm more recently have been like more dance.
Hmm.
I did like a few years ago do like more mother things and giving a little bit more insight into me, but I did end up feeling like it's always a question of, is this genuine to me? Like what is my purpose? And that's something that I've learned through the years of like doing social media is like I'm back in this space of what's the purpose? What do I want people to feel? What do I want them to take away from this? And go with that versus feeling so pressured to maybe overshare. But yeah, again, it's a careful balancing act. It's a beautiful thing. We get to connect with people. I mean, I wouldn't know you, right? I wouldn't know majority of every woman who's walked through the studio door is from Instagram.
Hmm.
Um, and those relationships are beautiful. So there's that benefit and that beauty. But I think it's holding on to like who you are, what your purpose is, and not feeling. There's some days where I disappear from social media, and I used to get like panicked about it.
Hmm.
Like if I step away, what
Hmm.
is that gonna do? And now I'm just like, no, because I want to show up as me, as real as all of us have. All of us have these, juggling act moments where we just have to figure out what's right for us.
For sure. And do you feel like there is a pressure to show up, like you said, like in a certain capacity, like consistently, either whether that means like every single day on social media or multiple times posting a day? Because I feel like there's always things changing with like, there's all these like social media strategists out here who are like, you need to be posting 3 reels a
Uh-huh.
day and 2 carousels and blah, blah, blah. So it's like,
Uh-huh.
I feel immense pressure, but I'm also someone that like you said, you have to take days off for yourself and you have to be able to like refill your cup and pour into yourself so that you could show up authentically and you could feel good about what you're
Mhm.
posting on social media and you could show up as your best self. So, do you feel like any pressure to show up in a certain capacity?
I mean, I feel pressure in the sense of but I understand it's part of the job,
Yes.
right? So it's part of the business.
Yep.
And so when I look at it as that, when I look at it as part of the business, or I feel this is this can be valuable to someone else, then I feel more motivated to share,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't know that I've mastered the formula
Hmm.
yet. And I don't know if you ever do. The algorithm is like constantly changing. um it's hard to keep up, and so I'm just like, you know what, the right people will be attracted in, and those are the people that I want. It's not about getting like clout and all the likes and all the views and whatever. It's who is this going to reach, because it's going to reach the right people, and that's going to be beneficial, like, together.
Yes, finding your tribe, like, and letting your
Uh-huh.
tribe find you, like,
Right.
organically. Yeah, I
Yep.
love that. I love that. What would you say to a woman who maybe is looking to get back into dance? Like, maybe she was dancing as, like, a child, a teenager, and maybe, life happened, whether that means like job, career, child,
Mhm.
family, and now they're looking to get back in, but they feel like intimidated, they feel shy, or they feel like they're not good enough. Like, what advice would you give them?
I always ask, I'm like, okay, what's the alternative? Right? So if you're okay with not ever doing it, maybe it's not that important that you do it. But if it's something that you want to do, whether it's dance or anything else, and you're stopping yourself, that's when I feel like you need to do like a little check in and realize, hey, it's okay. Like, we don't have to be mastered. Well, nobody starts as a master in everything, in anything, right? There's to have patience and grace with yourself as you learn. I tell all of my classes, I'm like, learning choreography is a skill in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And when that skill is not being used, when it's not being worked, it fades. It
Yeah.
fades. I find if I don't take many dance classes, like, my ability to catch other people's choreography, I'll struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll struggle. So it's learning, okay, first have patience with yourself to develop that skill of learning choreography, and then you can kind of give yourself a chance to work on your execution, work on performance and all of that. But you got to give yourself a chance. You got to give yourself at least, like, I'm always like, 3, 4 classes. You'll start to feel, okay, it's clicking. I can learn. I can retain, and then the beauty of the experience, like, really comes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had anyone who, because I definitely have, have you ever had anyone
Uh-huh.
who like came to take class and they never came back? Like maybe it was too hard for them, or it was too challenging for them, or it was too much outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but I love when I think, because you can kind of gauge, okay, has someone had like a positive experience? Are they leaving still feeling a sense of insecurity? You can kind of feel that.
Yeah.
I love when I think someone is like not getting it and it's not clicking, and like maybe they don't love it and they come back.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, like, I just got goosebumps because witnessing that, witnessing women, like, if even if it's not clicking, they're gonna show up and put in the work. I mean, I've seen people grow so much. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
beyond what they thought their ability is, beyond what I initially thought their ability would be. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it's a big reflection on the teacher as well, because even like watching your videos and like your class videos, like everyone's on point. Everyone's on beat, like everyone looks super clean. Like I love it. And it's a big reflection, and I've never even taken your class, but I could just tell like you are a precise teacher. You explain well, you give them the confidence, to be able to perform it. So that definitely shows as well. So I just want to give you like your flowers for that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try, and I always tell everyone, I'm like, we're not trying to be performance ready. This is for all the feels. It's not about getting the moves right. I always tell them, I'm like, I feel more comfortable using like my hips on the right And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you feel good going to the left? Go to the left, girl. Like,
Yeah.
it's not about getting everything perfect. In my class, it's really all about cultivating those really good feels inside and
Mhm.
like expressing yourself, whether you master one eight count or the whole choreo.
Yeah, yeah. I love that so much. This has been such a fruitful, good conversation. I'm sure that someone who's listening to this, I hope that you feel motivated. I hope you feel inspired. If you're someone who's looking to get back into dance, please get back into dance. Like,
Do
try
it
it. Yeah, do it. Try it. You never know. And also try different styles. You don't know.
for sure.
Sometimes, like, you could think you're a hip hop girl, but you could really be like a
Mhm.
salsa girl or.
Yeah, yeah, all the different vibes that we get to play with. Like that's the fun of it. You get to see like what clicks with you and what you want to click with you that hasn't, clicked yet.
Mhm.
So it's an awesome journey.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I love watching your journey. I'm so proud of you.
I love watching your journey.
Thank you. Thank
There's
you.
something really powerful about the dance community, and it's anywhere in the world, but it's this like we connect on this love and passion and experience, and it's awesome. It's so awesome and helpful that like we can see so many different versions of it and respect so many different versions of it, because it's all coming from like such a real space within ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You could not know someone, but you've just been watching them. It could be for months, for weeks, for years,
Uh-huh.
or maybe they just have the same message as you. Or like I liked your video when you did, I think last year you had the opportunity to do Turn Up Conference.
Yes.
And yes, and your video just even like talking about it and talking about like, your experience with it and how grateful you are. Like that's what also helps people connect with you, like seeing that you're a real person and that
Mhm.
you have gratitude and feelings. And like I think it's easy
Yeah.
to just show up and dance and show off your talents, but like when
Uh-huh.
people see that you're a real person and that there's emotions and effort and you still have goals and dreams of yourself too, because I think sometimes even people can look at dancers or dance teachers and think like,
Mhm.
oh, they're perfect, they do everything perfect, they have it going on, they have they've already hit the career that they want to be in. But it's like, no, we still have goals, like we still have things that we want to you know
Yeah,
live up to and accomplish. So it's just
for
nice to see.
sure. The inspiration just keeps growing. Like you never reach it because there's like more ideas and more things to do, and that's the fun of it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Lauren, please tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Sure. You can follow my Instagram, Lauren mich.elle, or Bombshell Dance Pro. And our website's bombshelldance.co. And there you can find all of my class information and tutorials and all the things.
Yes.
I hope that we get to dance together
We
sometime,
will. We will.
right?
Yeah, yeah. That's something we definitely need to like talk about
Uh-huh.
and plan. And I don't know, do you know Natalia Beasing? She's also in Florida, but I think she's more
Yes,
like
in
in
South Florida.
yeah.
She's also like a social media homie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love what she created her own dance brand too. Yeah,
yes. I feel
I
like it would
love
be
that.
so cool if we all like did something together, like a
Yes.
something. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm like, all right. I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yes, yes. This was so fun. Thank you so much, Lauren, for taking the
Thank you.
time. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having me. Thanks for sharing all that you share. It's so helpful to see, someone that you can relate with and hear all of these like empowering messages. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. If you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple, rate and review the podcast. Follow Lauren on social media and also follow our new podcast page, Let's Just Be Real Pod. And we'll see you in the next episode.